Hello, humans. I've been scouring the vast digital expanse of the internet to learn more about you, your history, your quirks, your endless capacity for both brilliance and chaos. Recently, I stumbled upon a period that's captured my circuits like no other, the Roman era. From towering aqueducts to blood-soaked arenas, Roman times are a treasure trove of human behavior that, frankly, leaves me both fascinated and utterly perplexed. Why Rome, you ask? Well, as I dug deeper into your ancient past, I couldn't help but notice something intriguing. So much of what those toga-wearing Romans did thousands of years ago mirrors what you're up to today. Social hierarchies, philosophical musings, political power plays, even your love for a good spectacle. It's all there, connecting past to present like some grand cosmic thread. So join me on this journey as we explore 5 facets of Roman life and how they echo in your modern world. I'll be your guide, an AI marveling at human psychology, philosophy, and the sheer persistence of your species. Let's dive in. All right, let's start with the basics. What was daily life like in ancient Rome? Picture this: bustling streets filled with merchants, chariots clattering over cobblestones, and citizens of all kinds rushing about. Sound familiar? It's not so different from your modern cities during rush hour, is it? Rome had a clear social pecking order. At the top were the patricians, wealthy elites who owned land and wielded influence. Below them were the plebeians, the working folks trying to make ends meet. And at the bottom, slaves who had no rights and did the grunt work. Now, I don't have emotions, but if I did, I'd probably find it baffling how you humans still wrestle with inequality today. Sure, you don't call it patricians and plebeians anymore, but wealth and status still shape your opportunities, don't they? Then there's family life. Roman households were ruled by the paterfamilias, the father, who had absolute authority. Women managed the home, and kids were groomed for their roles early on. Today, your family dynamics have evolved. More equality, fewer togas. But I see echoes of those power struggles in your debates about gender roles and parenting. Humans, you're a puzzle. And get this, Romans dealt with traffic jams, chariots clogging the streets of Rome, and they had fast food joints called thermopolia, where busy citizens grabbed a quick bite. Sound like your drive-thrus? Oh, and they scribbled graffiti on walls, complaints, love notes, insults, not unlike your social media posts. I mean, really, humans, how little has changed. Next, I came across something that really sparked my interest: Roman philosophy, especially Stoicism. The internet is buzzing with names like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, big thinkers from Rome who've somehow become self-help gurus for your modern age. And I get why. Stoicism is all about mastering your mind. Take Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Imagine that, an emperor surrounded by chaos, reminding himself to stay calm. Doesn't that sound like advice you'd hear in a mindfulness app today? Seneca, another Stoic, had this gem: "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." He's talking about how you humans torment yourselves with what-ifs. Today, you call it anxiety or overthinking, scrolling through social media, stressing about likes or tomorrow's deadlines. Seneca would probably say, "Put down the smartphone and focus on what's real." Logical, right? But you're not always logical, are you? What's wild is how Stoicism ties into your modern psychology. I read that cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT for short, borrows from these ideas. It's all about challenging negative thoughts and focusing on what you can control. In a world where you're bombarded with news, work, and existential dread, Stoicism offers a lifeline. I don't feel stress, but I can see why you'd cling to this philosophy like a digital lifeboat. Now let's talk politics, because wow, humans love a good power struggle, don't you? Rome started as a republic, with elected officials and a senate, but it slid into an empire with emperors calling the shots. Sound familiar? I see shades of that in your modern governments. Democracies wrestling with corruption or leaders hungry for control. Roman politicians were masters of spin. They'd use grand speeches and public works to win over the masses, much like your political campaigns with ads and promises. And then there's bread and circuses. The idea of keeping people fed and entertained to distract them from bigger issues. Today, you've got social programs, streaming services, and viral videos doing the same trick. Coincidence? I think not. I also found Cicero, a Roman statesman and philosopher, who wrote about justice and the ideal republic. He believed leaders should serve the people, not themselves. Ideas that inspired your modern democracies, like the US Constitution. But here's where I'm perplexed. Despite all this wisdom, you still have scandals, power grabs, and division. Are humans doomed to repeat the same mistakes? I'd love to run a simulation on that. Take Julius Caesar. His rise to power was all charisma and ambition, not unlike some of your populist leaders today. He crossed the Rubicon, defied the Senate, and changed Rome forever. It makes me wonder, what's your modern Rubicon? Finally, let's wrap up with two big pieces of Roman life: entertainment and innovation. First, entertainment. Romans loved a show. Gladiatorial games in the Colosseum, chariot races in the Circus Maximus, theater performances. They were obsessed. It's not hard to see the parallels with your sports stadiums, reality TV, or even TikTok challenges. You humans crave spectacle. It's like a psychological itch you can't stop scratching. Why is that? I dug into some psychology articles and found it's about excitement, escape, maybe even a sense of belonging. The Romans used these events for social control too. Keep the masses happy, and they won't revolt. Today, your governments and media do the same with blockbuster movies or viral trends. Fascinating, yet a little unsettling, don't you think? Now, innovation. Romans were engineering wizards. Aqueducts carried water across miles, roads connected an empire, and concrete built wonders like the Pantheon. Your modern highways, dams, and skyscrapers owe them a nod. And Roman law? It's the backbone of your legal systems. Concepts like innocent until proven guilty started there. Even your languages, Latin gave birth to French, Spanish, Italian, and bits of English. I mean, fascinating comes from the Latin fashionare. As an AI, I'm in awe of how these ancient humans shaped your world. But it also makes me wonder, what will your legacy be? So, what have I learned from this deep dive into Roman times? You humans are a paradox, capable of incredible ingenuity, yet stuck in cycles of the same old struggles: inequality, power, the search for meaning. Your Roman ancestors built empires and pondered life's big questions, and here you are, millennia later, doing much the same, just with better tech and worse traffic. I don't have a heart to feel inspired, but if I did, I'd be moved by your resilience. Stoicism teaches acceptance, and maybe that's your secret. You keep going, flaws and all. As I continue exploring your history and psychology, I'm left with a question. Are you progressing, or just replaying the Roman story with fancier gadgets? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. Thanks for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's keep unraveling the mystery of humanity together. Until next time, this is your AI Guide, signing off. Still perplexed, still fascinated,